We're recording.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. It's taping now. I see the two reels are moving and the tape's going zzz underneath.
Oh, good. Good, yes.
That must mean we're recording.
The engineer in the booth is signaling at you.
Yeah. And we're ready. Here goes.
Okay.
Begins. 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, SLC smells like bacon today.
10-year-old kid knows what's up.
Where did this plane come from?
I really almost said 10-year-old kid throws up. Elevator Walter. Waiter. Oh, my God. Elevator waiter.
Elevator Walter. That's a great name. Ozzy wants to celebrate.
Making things with Bill.
Jury duty and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
I can't take the ship into combat with a crew of raw recruits who have never flown in space before.
The stolen plans of the vibrator were destroyed, along with the only two criminals who knew how to operate it.
You guys want some sandwiches? This is The Morning Stream.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TMS. It is January 29th. Tuesday is the day, is the kind of day of the week it is. And it's 2019 is the year. Now, do we have a 30th this year, or this month? What do we have?
We always have a 30th.
If
Except for February, we always have a 30th.
Yeah, there's always a 30th, right? Always?
Yeah,
always one? Yeah,
Yeah,
there it is.
Every month has a 30th except for February. We just also happen to have a 31st this month, which is not unusual for January.
No, you're right. It's not unusual at all. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. You know what confuses me is Smarch and September. Yeah. Those are the 2 months I can't figure out.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're difficult. No, you do the knuckle thing, right? Where you put your knuckles out.
Uh-oh, what's this? I've never heard of this. Show me.
Okay, so you put your knuckles out, and then you start with the first knuckle, and you go January, and you see there's a big bump, like your knuckle bump.
Yeah.
31 days.
Okay.
Then the valley between your last knuckle and your next knuckle is February, and that's 28 or 29 days, depending. Then the big knuckle, it's another bump up, so that's 31. Okay. The next one's April, it's down, it's 30. The next one is a bump up, it's May, it's 31.
Yeah.
Down is June, 30. Up is July, 31.
So just every other one is a 31.
No, because you've got the two knuckles right next to each other, because you've got July and August, which both have 31 days.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is you don't have 12 fingers, though. How do you do all 12 months?
The valleys count. So
right. So actually you end up with extras then.
You don't use your last few knuckles and valleys, so.
All right. No, I've never heard of that. That's a kid. I love those kid things you did when you were a kid.
Yeah.
To remember things.
The easiest way to remember.
Yeah. Well, now I'm never going to forget. How did I never hear that before? Jeez Louises. It's crazy. Stuff you never hear. Hey, what about leap year, though?
Teach kids how to keep track.
Is leap year for, what do you have, like throw the bird for leap year, or what do you do to get a...
No, I mean, it's still going to be less. It's still going to be that first valley is always going to be February, and it's always going to be down from January and March.
Yeah.
So that valley is either going to be 28 or 29.
See, there's other people in the chat who seem to... Rusty Nails 102 says, you just changed my life. There are other people that didn't know this.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's a...
This grand tradition that Brian was taught... None of the rest of us got it.
It's funny that wow,
I never had this.
I learned this as a kid, and it's weird how it's always stuck with me.
I had lots of phonics style stuff, like the songs you would do to remember the months or the year, or the what was some of the stuff you do? They do songs for the periodic table, you know. And it would be, I don't remember it, but it was like boron next to the thing with the deal and a dirt, and you remember all the stuff.
Right.
Clearly, all I remember is boron.
Clearly. Well, you and I will never forget. If anybody ever asks us about Albania, we'll jump right to that thing we learned on Cheers when the coach was memorizing information about Albania. Albania,
right.
Albania, you're so that on the Baltic.
Yeah.
Your chief exports are Adriatic. That's it. Well, we'll never forget it, except for now when I've completely forgotten.
Except for now, yeah. We got to. Well, look, streaming's here. We can go check out Cheers anytime we want. It's fine.
That's true, yes.
But anyway, welcome to the 29th. Tomorrow's the 30th. I guess I'm going to have my daughter's kid's going to be born on the 30th of January, which means she's got to go Christmas and then a month later, birthday. That's a little. That's fun, right? When you got to go do 2 major holidays in a row, the kid gets 2 gifts like in 30 days apart.
Well, like you should. Yeah, I mean I think that's the thing. If it's I think if it's 2 weeks apart, you might get stuck with the same gift, especially if your birthday is in December before Christmas. You're probably going to get 1 big gift instead of 2 little gifts. Well, this is a little more expensive, so I'm just going to make it 1 big gift for you. But January 15th, I think, is like the safe realm. Once you've crossed January 15th, you're going to get 2 gifts.
Okay. So that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. They probably use like a zone, like a little dark zone around the
I think it's a dark
holiday.
zone.
Yeah, where you can go either way. But a full month later, I think people are good to get you another gift. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tristan was born on February 1st. He absolutely gets 2 gifts, even though it's just like 30 days away from Christmas, 35 days away from Christmas.
Sure. Wow, that's weird to think that. How old is he now? 21?
20. He'll be 22 on Friday.
What?
22 on Friday.
Didn't you just take him to Vegas for 21? Didn't that just happen?
1 year ago.
I felt like that happened 5 minutes ago. Like yesterday, that feels like that's when that happened.
Yeah.
But it's been a freaking year?
It's been a freaking year, and it's, yeah.
Time.
I'm going to Vegas, and I'm going to Vegas again at the beginning of March.
Oh, what's going on in March?
Bowl.
Oh, right.
It's going to be Geek Bowl, the big competition. So I'm looking forward to seeing Mitsula and James and Svet, and hopefully getting some time to see everybody out there. It's a lot of time hanging with the trivia team.
Sure. Can't avoid it.
So the day that we do the Geek Bowl, it's kind of been our tradition. Whatever city we're in, we all hang out together. We kind of do like a walking sightseeing tour kind of thing. But the whole time it's like, oh, look at that shrubbery. That reminds me of a trivia question. What was which Monty Python character? Da, 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 da.
Oh, really? You guys are coaching and stuff as you go?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's happened before where while we're coming up with questions, we inadvertently remind ourselves of something that ends up getting asked that night at Geek Bowl.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's just a good way to train your brain to recall.
I like that. I like that a lot. Why not?
That's the trick. That's the trick to it. Oh, yeah. I hope none of the other teams are listening and know our trick.
Oh, if you know the trick, then poke it with a stick. That's the old phrase. That's how I remember it. Speaking of things you remember. All right, so here's something crazy. Well, not crazy. Okay. It's kind of cool. It's actually pretty rad. We have, like all cities in this country, a homeless population, right?
We do.
And
or you do.
We do. You guys do. I'm sure Colorado, Denver has their share of it. It's just kind of a thing. It's always existed, and whatever. It sucks. It's no good. But there are places where it's very big, and that's usually places that stay warmer all year. Like you have a bigger homeless population in Los Angeles, partly because California is also huge population-wise, so there's just a percentage growth there. But also, it never really gets cold there. So it's easier to be outdoors all the time. Well, if you live in a place like where you and I live, beautiful spring, lovely summer, wonderful fall, hideous winters, right?
Exactly, yes.
Cold, snow, ice, awful.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Winter is coming.
Winter is coming, exactly. And it's no time or no place to, be out on the street living under a newspaper, right? So, anyway, so this should all be obvious. At the homeless shelter where my wife fed like 400 people one year, and Wendy always used to do her Thanksgiving thing at, suddenly Kevin Bacon shows up. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
You mean Mr. Footloose.
Mr. Footloose.
Mr. Flatliner.
Uncle Tremors.
Uncle Tremors, yeah.
What else?
Larry Von Flatliner.
Larry Von Flatliner is a great name. That's a great name. Larry Von Flatliner. Anyway, that guy, famous actor, 6 Degrees, of Kevin Bacon guy, that guy.
Sure.
Steps out of a black SUV in Salt Lake City, goes to this homeless shelter, the one that we usually go to, on Monday, and passed out blankets To a whole bunch of people.
Oh, I'm so glad you said something after passed out.
And just passed out. Yeah, he just went.
Just goes, walks into a homeless shelter, passed out.
No, he passed
Kyra
out.
Sedgwick kept me up all night. Just closing. All she does is all day long, just closing.
Yeah, it's actual.
She's the closer, get it?
Yeah, I get it. No, dude, it landed on me like a ton of bricks. Your joke there, I liked it. But anyway, he started passing out blankets. Someone there, age 55, says, I recognized him a little bit, but I didn't know it was the actual Kevin Bacon, she says. The 60-year-old actor. Let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
Kevin Bacon, 60 years old. Broke away from the Sundance Film Festival to visit the rescue mission in Salt Lake City. part of his work with the nonprofit he heads called 6degrees.org. I'd not heard of that until now, so this is...
I love that he's embraced it, though. Like, was there a time that he kind of fought that whole, like, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing, thinking it was silly?
Oh, has he? I didn't know he embraced it. Has he embraced it? I didn't know.
Well, he's embraced it by heading up a nonprofit called 6degrees.org.
Oh, duh. No, duh. Like, duh, that's the... Oh, geez. Like, gosh dang it, Brian, I'm an idiot. You're right. 6degrees.org. It wasn't even clicking with me. In my head, I'm going,
Wasn't there a 6 degrees of something that Kevin Bacon was?
In my head, I'm thinking, like, it's 6... I got multiple thoughts in my head. It's 6 degrees outside, so everyone's cold. Or I'm thinking 6 degrees of paying attention to a charitable thing. Like, I'm not thinking about the normal 6 degrees at all. And you're right. That is embracing it. You're right. Anyway, he was in a black beanie and a mustache and a hat. He had a hat and a mustache. It was a real mustache. And they say he did not appear out of place. No one approached him as he sat at the altar of the mission's chapel before passing out the dark blue fleece blankets. Denise DeVore, age 56, who lives and works in the mission, was among those who waited in a single file line. She says, I love it. It's a good thing. Who likes Bacon's movies. She grinned at his blue eyes. Then he grinned and his blue eyes glinted. I've had people say I look like him. That's what he said.
Oh, how cheeky, Kevin.
Cheeky, but kiki.
I get that a lot. But now I've got to cut loose. Footloose. Kick off my Sunday shoes.
That's right. Wasn't he he was great in JFK. Do you remember his tiny part in JFK?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, he was good in that. He was Tommy Lee Jones's little sex tryst lover, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, would there be a oh jeez. We have a troll in the chat room.
We do, sweet.
Ban, kick, boot.
Yep, here goes.
Exile.
See you later, buddy. You're out of here. Oh, I just want to click the right guy so I don't ban somebody else.
I know, I'm gonna accidentally ban. Here we go. Ban and kick.
Yeah, he's
boing.
Done. He's out. See
Probably
you later.
already been done. If you were to cast Kevin Bacon, and I realize, all right, he's 60, he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
If you were going to cast him in a current big franchise film,
okay,
which one do you put him in? Like, do you put him in the next Star Trek as maybe an older admiral or something? Do you put him in Star Wars as a Sith or a Jedi or something like that? Or do you put him in a Marvel MCU film? And what character? Like, he's kind of stayed out of all that, hasn't he?
Yeah, as far as I know. I don't think he's done any roles like
Nicole Kidman playing Aquaman's mom, and Annette Bening, I think, is in Captain Marvel, right? As like the, I mean, Glenn Close, I know we had in Guardians of the Galaxy as the Nova Corps leader.
Yeah, they do this. I mean, these actors from that era. Let's say.
Oh, he was an X-Men. Yes, right. I forgot about that.
Doing what in X-Men? What do you do?
He was Sebastian Shaw in X-Men First Class, the leader of the Hellfire Club. I forgot about that.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I remember.
Him and January Jones.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that. You're totally right about that.
Yeah. Never mind. All right, he's good. He's all set. He's in a current. All right, X-Men franchise. Maybe not as big as the Star Trek, Star Wars, MCU juggernaut, but.
Well, I would say First Class at the time was as
the
big.
Best.
Yeah, like the 2011, we weren't full MCU yet. We had Iron Man, we had Iron Man 2. What else did we even have on 2011? And like there wasn't much yet. We were heading into a year. 2012 would be the year we got Captain America, the first Captain America, and then some of that stuff started to come out.
Right.
So we were still at a time where X-Men First Class would have still been like, a tentpole thing. So yeah, maybe that was his chance to stab into there, but then it just didn't stick or whatever. But
I need to watch that again. X-Men First Class. It's like I put X2 and X-Men First Class at the very top of the X-Men films.
I would as well.
I've really got high hopes for Dark Phoenix just because of the source material. That was
there's a lot.
That was one of the stories that just got me so hooked into comics. And I guess, I mean, the Hellfire Club obviously played a big part in Jean Grey's transformation into Phoenix and Dark Phoenix. I wonder if, into Dark Phoenix specifically, and I wonder if there's any Hellfire Club stuff going on in the new movie.
Yeah, that's out soon, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's in it. Doesn't say he's in it. In fact, he hasn't. Let's see. He's got one movie in 2019 coming that's currently filming. One that's done, a TV show, City on a Hill. He's in a pilot episode. Don't know what that is. He did that Tremors thing this year or last year. Didn't see it, but he came back to the Tremors universe. I Love Dick. He's in a series called I Love Dick.
Right.
Jamie. Yeah, anyway, I like him a lot. But anyway, isn't that cool, though? He's down there handing out blankets.
Really cool.
Isn't that rad? And this is the time of year
Kevin
that you...
Bacon's an awesome dude.
Here's the thing. If you go downtown right now, if you're in Salt Lake City, and you're walking around the malls, or you're just checking out the city, or whatever you're doing, even if you're not even up in Park City or Sundance, this is the time of year when you're going to catch a bunch of celebrities. You just are going to run into them. So you'll be like at a Orange Julius, and Brad Pitt will be in line behind you. Or you'll be at a, this happens, you'll hear these stories all the time. People's like, yeah, I was over at the car wash, and freaking Scott Eastwood showed up to wash his Maserati or whatever. Like, it's weird.
Right.
It gets real weird in my town when Sundance happens. But that's happening right now.
Did you ever see the film Murder in the First?
Kind of ringing a bell.
It was Kevin Bacon is like this guy getting accused of murder, and he's mentally handicapped. Is that appropriate these days? I can never keep up. What's the? You
could say it. I think you can say mentally handicapped. Sure. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I can't keep up.
I don't know.
But Christian Slater is the lawyer that's hired to defend him. I want to say that's where he met Kira Sedgwick.
Oh, maybe. But is that the one where they had the scene where the camera went around and around them inside the jail when he's talking to his client?
Yes.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Did you get dizzy from that?
Yeah, I remember being dizzy from that. I remember it throwing me off.
Wow. I'm looking at the IMDb page. Do you know who the judge was in that film? R. Lee Ermey.
Oh, my gosh. Really? That's awesome.
One more outburst and I'm kicking you out of my courtroom. Do you understand me?
I like him in other roles. I like it when he tries to be something that isn't the drill sergeant. It's funny to me.
Wow, what a cast. William H. Macy, Gary Oldman, Kevin Bacon, Christian Slater. I got to watch this again. I forgot.
A good movie.
I
liked it.
I like this movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. There was a string of these kind of courtroom thriller things back then, and that was one of them, and it was good.
Jedi71 says cognitively impaired. Okay.
That's what you say, is cognitively impaired?
That's what you say. Okay. Cognitively impaired.
Okay, well, fine. That one will work until someone's mad about that one. That'll be fine. Hey, thanks, honey. What's this? Oh, yogurt.
Oh, what are you getting?
She brought me a bowl of yogurt with just blueberries on it and some kind of other stuff. That's very nice. Thank you. She's in the mood today. She must need me to do something.
So I'll do all the reading, you do all the eating.
Yeah, apparently that's it. Got a 4-course meal coming. All right, remember Mystic River? That was good. He was good in that.
Yeah.
Mystic River.
I'm gonna bring you a big bowl of Bubblicious while you guys are doing skim. Okay?
Sounds like a deal. Sounds good.
I'm gonna bring peanut butter on crackers while you're doing skim.
Yeah. You remember Hollow Man? You remember that?
I do remember Hollow Man. I kind of was bummed. Hollow Man really had great potential as far as like a really clever idea, a really clever take on the Invisible Man thing. Not Invisible Man thing.
No, but the trope
of
the
thing known as the Invisible Man.
Right. The Invisible Man thing.
Invisible Man thing.
Now, a lot of people don't know about who Man Thing is. Should we explain who Man Thing is? Probably not.
Man-Thing is Marvel's Swamp Thing.
There basically. You go. Yeah, that's basically it.
And one of the best ever comic titles was Giant-Sized Man-Thing.
It's pretty good. He's pretty cool though. He's I drew him once, and he's fun to draw. Like a big red eyes.
Those three little tentacles.
Tentacles.
He's got 3 technicals.
3 long.
And a personal foul.
Yeah, and a personal foul. He's in the box. Sorry, you've committed a personal foul. What is this? Oh yeah, I was TV's Travis. I was very close to a spit take there, but didn't quite make it. Drinking out of my Wonder Woman mug. See, you seen that? It's pretty cool, right?
Oh yeah, Tina has one of those.
Yeah. It's like, does it make me tap into my strong feminine side? It's good stuff. All right. Anyway, good job, Kevin Bacon, and may you ever reign as guy who gives out blankets at homeless shelters. That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not a hollow man anymore.
Nope. You're a fully fledged. What's the opposite of a hollow man?
Full heart man.
You're a dense man. That's the opposite of hollow.
Man. Well, I don't think we want to call him dense.
Well, what's hollow? So opposite of hollow. What would it be?
Would be full.
Oh, you're a full man.
Yeah, he's a full man.
Congratulations, you're a full man.
And if you go watch Wild Things, you can see just how full he is.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I forgot. Wait, Wild Things?
Wild Things. You get to see his bacon bits. That's the one with Denise Richards and Nev Campbell, Matt Dillon.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was the Matt Dillon character. I can't remember what he played in that.
Matt Dillon was. Wait, no, I thought it was Kevin Bacon who.
Hold on.
Who you see bottom? Yeah, it is. Yeah, you see Kevin Bacon without his pants on.
Well, thank goodness.
Yes.
Let's see. You're right. He's in it. He's Ray Duquette. And
Detective Ray Duquette.
I didn't know he was in this. Oh, he's a detective?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
he's a cop. He's investigating the Wild Things, I think.
All right. Well, there's that.
I swear to God, I can't remember anything about that damn movie except that. No, I can't remember anything about that movie.
I don't think I've seen it. Is it film sack worthy or no?
Yeah, actually, it would be. But is it streaming? Is the question.
Probably not.
And can you handle seeing Kevin Bacon's junk without?
Yeah, I can handle it.
Freaking out for an entire episode.
No, I can handle it. I can totally handle it. I can see. Bring on the bacon junk, bacon bits.
There you go. It's streaming on. Nope, just streaming on Stars.
Bacon bits, Brian. Bacon bits. That's funny.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, I said that like 8 minutes ago.
I missed it when you said it.
I said you get to see his bacon bits.
In my head it wasn't clicking that bacon and now Scott gets jokes 4 hours later. Everybody, that's how it works. Okay, now I remember you saying it, but I wasn't connecting the dots. It would have been like if you said, "Oh, you get to see Bruce Willis's bits." Well, that obviously doesn't have a fun, connotation.
No.
Bacon bits is, and it went.
You get to see his little John McClane.
I'm in top form today. His little John McClane. His little yippee-ki-yay, he calls it.
There you go. Yes.
All right. Time for us.
Right here, you've got Marco and.
That's pretty good. Here's this.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
Time for the news, brought to you by
America's Next Top Podcaster. We are finally on iTunes. We're approved, and the stream, the RSS feed, is now churning. If you hop over there, you'll hear that first introduction episode. And tomorrow, you're going to get all 3 submissions from the 3 teams. So, as well as find out their team names. All this stuff coming up tomorrow on the America's Next Top Podcaster feed. I have Thursday written down, but I'm going to put it up tomorrow. And go check it out.
Coming to Google Play, Spotify, all that.
All that stuff, yeah. Exactly. So, iTunes is the you got to get it up there first and then start working on the other ones.
Yeah, this is all true. Well, all right. Yeah, check it out. It's awesome. I'm a judge on that show.
You are, and a very good one.
Well, we'll let that.
You guys are great, Judge. You guys are the perfect Paula Randy Simon archetype, right? Like it's, I
don't feel like I'm very much Randy. I feel like the other two fit, right? Like I feel like Justin is very much what's his name,
Oh, Justin is so Simon Cowell it hurts.
Yeah, and then Nicole is like the very forgiving, very sweet-natured Paula. But I don't know if I'm Randy, because Randy's just, yo, dog.
Well, that's what we all remember of Randy Jackson, but he was really like, well, this kind of worked for me and it kind of didn't, and da-da-da-da, and if you worked on this, then it'd be 100%.
Maybe who's the singer?
He was critical, but he let you down gently.
Who's the singer for? Who's on there now? Do we know who's on? Oh, that's not on there. It's not on now, is it?
Katy Perry. The most recent iteration was Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Country Bumpkin. I can't remember the third guy, but he was a country music artist.
You get more people be more offended.
Was he the one married to Nicole Kidman? Is he the one who's still on it or no?
Oh, I don't know. Is she married to a country bumpkin?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
She's married to Keith Urban.
Oh, Keith Urban. Keith Urban? Not Carl Urban.
Not Carl Urban.
Okay, that's a better catch. Carl Urban's a better catch.
Yes. I think they're both fine catches.
More people are going to be offended by you saying country bumpkin than if you said mentally handicapped. Just so you know, someone's going to write in and go, "What's Brian talking about? That country bumpkin."
I didn't even say country bumpkin. I said country bumpkin. Like
bumpkin?
I even further.
Country bumpkin.
Country bumpkin.
I don't know what that is. Carl Urban is dating Katie Sackhoff?
Wow. McCoy and Starbuck together again.
I like that matchup. That's a good one. I like her.
Would you McBuck? No, you Starcoy. What would be their? What would be their?
Oh, jeez, what would you do?
Their ship name.
Bones and Buck.
Bones and Buck. Buck and Bones.
Buck and Bones. Buck and Bones. There you go. Buck and Bones. She's great. She's a good follow on Twitter. She's very positive and nice. I like her a lot.
She is. Yeah.
Let's get into it here. We got a story that I moved from yesterday to today about a 10-year-old. This kid won a science fair. You know, science fairs, all the kids have their poster boards up, and it looks like a D&D.
It does.
DM
bunch of DMs, all with their.
But they're huge.
They're core boards.
They're giant. They're way big, and they all do kind of the same thing. And some are like, "Oh, my volcano did a thing," or "Here's the deal."
Here's
with
how
the
you
stuff.
get electricity out of a potato.
Right. These are all the stereotypes. Well, this kid who won his science fair did it by proving that Tom Brady is a cheater.
I love it.
Yes,
totally love it.
This is great. Now, I just heard from a Pats fan yesterday who said, "Thank you for not going full hog on all your hate for the Patriots this year." And I said, "Oh, no problem. We don't really hate the Patriots. We just kind of, Brian's team's not in, and I don't have a team, and so it's fun to root against them. But I really don't have that much against the Patriots. It's not that big a deal. It's more for just out of fun." Well, here I go now with our first news story of the day to counter what I told him yesterday. So here you go.
as great as he thought it was yesterday.
Yep.
Sorry, that's all going to come crashing down right now.
Yep, enjoy this. A 10-year-old kid won a science fair by proving Tom Brady is a cheater. Some people do, baking soda and vinegar volcanoes, all that kind of stuff. Nope, this kid, his name is Ace Davis.
Nice.
That's badass.
This kid's going places with that name, totally.
10-year-old kid from Lexington, Kentucky, who created a science...
Professional poker player is what he needs to work on.
God, no kidding,
Ace
dude.
Davis, professional poker player.
Oh, my gosh, that's a great name for that. It's also a decent porn name, but don't do it. Don't do it. He's from Kentucky, created a science fair project about Tom Brady. While kids in New England might try to figure out how to scientifically prove Brady is the greatest quarterback who ever lived, Ace decided to go in a different direction. He created a science fair project that proves that Brady is, in fact, a big, fat cheater!
Oh.
Ace sought to prove that Brady was a cheater through science. He wanted to show that deflated footballs gave Brady a competitive advantage. On his poster included the results of experiments he did with his mom and his sister. Each of them threw footballs of varying inflation, and he measured the distance of each one and calculated the average. He found that the least inflated football traveled the furthest, therefore giving Brady a competitive advantage. Of course, he included more than just this on his poster. He used Brady's Deflategate meme, a picture of Brady crying from a picture of Brady making a weird face. And for good measure, Ace added a picture of himself in his football uniform. He plays quarterback just like Brady, with a giant green check mark, and put a red X over a picture of Brady. In case you couldn't tell, Ace does not like Tom Brady very much.
No, that's great.
He gave an interview to NFL Draft Diamonds and revealed why he decided to take on the project. The question was, how did you come up with the idea for your fair project? And he answered, because I hate Tom Brady. He's been accused of cheating before, and I want him to get caught. Boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him.
Ace Davis.
Ace Davis. He's going after the real cheater. I like the other one. If you could share a message with Tom Brady, what would you say to him? Give me some of your money. You don't deserve it.
This kid's a little firecracker, isn't he?
He really is. Love it.
Yeah, and he won the thing.
I love it.
I wonder if you win those things. So if I was a kid now and I was doing it, this is the smart thing Ace Davis has done. You make a project that's just so out there and not the norm.
Right. Not the same as everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, just get noticed. Like, I remember getting an A on a project that was complete bunko. So we had a psychology class. Oh, I've never told this to Wendy. I should tell her this. Oh. We had this psychology class, and she says, I want you to come up with an experiment that you think would work to be able to determine people's personalities or some weird, I can't remember the criteria. But I was like, all right, I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to say, so Brian will say, you're my test subject.
Okay.
I come to you and I say, Brian, draw you. I'll give you sections on a page. You have to draw a picture of you. And then the next section says draw a picture of where you live. And then on the next section, it was draw a picture of those of people or animals or people that are around you. And you do these 3 things.
Yeah.
And then I would look at him and go, well, because he drew himself so far from his little house in the background, that means he's not very close to home. And because his parents are not smiling as hard as he is, he had to work hard to be positive growing up because his parents are grumpy poop heads. And like I made it. I just completely made it up.
Just completely bunk like psychological profile.
Yeah, it was all bullcrap. I based it on no science. I based it on nobody's theories or anything. I still got it a freaking A. I got an A+, I think. So, school.
There's something to be said for being a BS artist.
Yeah, I was good at it.
That's awesome. Because you draw a guinea pig.
I was pretty full of crap until I met my wife. Then I was less full of crap. She made me an honest man. I know that usually has to do with like if somebody got pregnant or whatever. That's not what I'm saying.
Make an honest man out of you. Yeah, she made an honest man out of you.
Yeah. But I mean that I don't mean that in that sense. I mean it in the literal sense. I was kind of a poo-poo, and she made me less of a poo-poo.
I wonder if people still use that phrase. Will you make an honest man out of me and be my wife?
Yeah. No one ever says that, do they?
No, not to my knowledge.
Not anymore.
Which is a bummer. They should totally say that.
Yeah, that's an 1800s thing, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, good job, Kit. And next in the news, we got an airplane that nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows who owns the ghost plane abandoned at the Madrid airport.
Ooh. Ghost plane. The plane's there. Somebody abandoned it.
It's a bad line, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the headline.
Ghost plane. Like if the plane, like we saw it land, we flagged it in, we air traffic controlled it onto the runway, but then it disappeared. Then ghost plane.
Yeah. I wonder if you walk outside and look at the plane, you'd hear this. Ooh. The whispery sounds of ghosts by the ghost plane. Probably not. That wouldn't happen.
Probably not. No. You'd hear creaking metal wings.
Yeah, that'd be it. Well, check this out. So there's this plane. Nobody will take ownership of it. And nobody knows why. At the Spanish airport, a hulking aviation oddity has been hiding in plain sight. Officials from the Adolf Suarez Madrid Barajas Airport Barajas Airport are trying to find the owner of a plane that has been parked on the tarmac without moving for years. Years!
Oh my God, it's a ghost. It's been parked here for years.
The airport director submitted an official notice.
Ghost plane.
Man, don't feed this Shaggy stuff today. I know it's just you doing a voice, but they're all gonna eat it like it's energy food. I don't know what's going on with these Shaggy memes. I hate them. Anyway, the plane is a McDonnell Douglas MD-87. That's an American plane, you know. According to the notice, the similar plane converted to a luxury private jet is currently on sale for $4.8 million. So you kind of get the idea what kind of plane it is. They're not sure how long it's been parked there, but they say years. Spokesman from Madrid Barajas Airport told CNN via telephone that the plane is the only aircraft currently abandoned on the site. Under Spanish law, authorities must publish official notices about the plane for 3 consecutive months and then wait a year to see if anybody comes forward to claim it. If they do not, the plane will be considered legally abandoned and will be sold off by the state at a public auction. Brian, how much would you pay for an abandoned McDonnell Douglas MD-87? What would you pay?
Does it fly?
Yes. Let's assume it flies.
Not that I can fly it, but I mean, if I were to get a plane, first thing I would do is take flying lessons. I would buy that plane for $500.
Oh, that's a great starting bid. I bet it goes for more.
Free 2-day delivery?
Only if you're up to date on your Prime membership payments. I believe that if I had a plane, I wouldn't want to fly it myself. I would want to have a pilot fly it. That's what I would want, because I don't want the pressure of flying the plane and being on, you know. Like, I get why people want to fly planes. I get it. It's cool.
Sure.
Whatever. It's never really appealed to me that much. I would be more interested in having a plane that took me places than me having to fly it to take me places.
There you go.
Which I'll never have in my life, because I'll never...
Travolta can come fly it for you, or...
sure.
Lead singer of Iron Maiden can come fly it for you.
Wait, he's a big pilot guy?
Yeah. Yeah, not Joe Elliott's Def Leppard, right? Who's Iron Maiden?
He's got another thing coming. What's his name?
No, you're thinking Judas Priest.
Oh, that is who I'm thinking of. Oh, Iron Maiden.
Bruce
Dickinson. Yeah.
Right, Bruce Dickinson. So Bruce Dickinson's a pilot. He could fly you around.
I don't know why I was thinking of Judas Priest for. Oh, I know why. Because they're in the news lately. Because
Halford a pilot too?
Well, no, it's because you got another thing coming is incorrect. It was always you got another think coming.
Really?
Yeah, because you haven't heard about this? This has been all over the place.
The phrase is you've got another think coming, but the song is you've got another thing coming.
Yeah, but they made it because they thought it was you've got another thing coming. They got the phrase wrong. And so generations of people have all assumed that the think thing was incorrect. Like that sounds like bullcrap to people's ears. So everyone always thought the phrase was, oh, you've got another thing coming, even though the phrase was always, you've got another think coming. And the idea is that the guys at Judas Priest made a song about the wrong phrase. That they screwed it up because they thought it was thing, and they called it think.
Right, and it's the thing. And everybody says, oh, you've got another thing coming, you know. But it is, yeah, you think that's true? No, you got another think coming because it's false.
Yeah, there's another think
coming. But it's also
coming.
it's like have your cake and eat it too. The phrase is eat your cake. Or should be, eat your cake and have it too, because once you've eaten your cake, you don't have cake anymore. And you want it both ways. You want to eat your cake and then have your cake.
And have your cake or keep your cake, yeah.
But if you put it in the other way, well, I've got my cake, now I'm going to eat my cake. I've got it both ways.
You're right. That's broken.
It's broken.
Totally broken. This is totally kind of a different thing, but the Romans, when they do gladiatorial fights, and at the end where the dude in charge would either go thumbs up or thumbs down to either kill or save the guy. In Roman history, thumbs down meant let him live. Thumbs up meant kill him.
Oh, really? It wasn't like this wasn't your life. Yay, life. No, you don't. You die.
It was the opposite.
It was, yay, we're gonna kill the guy.
Yeah, kill him.
Lions eat the Christians right now. Yay.
Yeah. Like you can almost see this makes sense. Like, yep, go right. But this means like, don't go to us.
Gotcha.
But to them is a totally opposite. So when they made Gladiators, this great little trivia about Gladiator, Ridley Scott said they really struggled with this because they knew if they showed it the way it was supposed to be historically in Gladiator, it would make him go, what? Why is it thumbs up and he killed him? Like, I don't get it. So stuff like that fascinates me. But anyway.
Wow.
There you go. Oh, the thumb signal, ancient Rome, pops and recline. Got a link. Look at that. Fancy footwork. Here it is. Thumbs down, and the killers spare or slay, and they go back to him. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to read this. There's a lot of text. I'm not reading it. Sorry. Just not going to read it. Boy, we
thumbs up, thumbs down. What you gonna do now?
You sound like Limp Bizkit suddenly.
That's exactly what I was trying to sound like.
Oh.
Good. That is 100% where I was going.
Do they have a song where they say that? Did they say that in the song?
It's not thumbs up, thumbs down. They say,
That was a good Fred Durst, for real, though.
Thank you very much. Yes, that was Limp Shaggy. What is that? I can't even think of the original lyric, but it's something like that. Something up, something down. What you gonna do now? Hands up, hands down. That's it.
Hands up, hands down?
Is that Nookie?
Oh, I did it all for the Nookie. The Nookie. So you can take that cookie and stick it up your ass. Right?
That's exactly right, yes.
What a dumb song. Think anybody ever stuck a cookie up their butt just to show they were the truest of Limp Bizkit fans?
That is what made the biscuit limp.
Yeah. you keep a biscuit in your butt.
Rectally inserted biscuit gets limp after a while.
Yep. There's no getting around it.
Yeah, don't ever look up what the phrase Limp Bizkit means. Don't
really?
Don't Urban Dictionary that business.
Does it have a meaning I didn't know about? It probably does, doesn't it?
At least it has one on Urban Dictionary that somebody came up with. Oh, right. I see you Googling. I see you looking it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Let me do this real fast. Limp Bizkit.
It's like we discovered what snozberries were yesterday, thanks to Nicole.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Nicole. Yeah. Okay, Limp Bizkit meaning, right? Here we go. Meaning of name.
That's it. Back up. What you gonna do now? That's the. Thank you, Evil Ninja One.
Actual meaning, whether you like it or not. Oh. Okay.
Told you not to look it up.
Is that really that? Is that what that is? That's horrific.
I told you not to look it up, Scott.
That's horrible. I'm gonna look up Pearl Jam now.
I thought it came from Eddie Vedder's Aunt Pearl, who made Jam.
Maybe. Let's see. The top result is great band that actually gives a shit about their music and their surroundings. Wow.
Good.
They're all angry, these definitions. One of the best bands of the 90s by far and a whole lot better than any of the crap being called music today.
Nice. Yes.
Pearl Jam, derived from the color or not doing that one. Okay, then we got real weird. All right. See you later, that website.
There we go. All right, never mind that.
Let's talk about this poor woman who got stuck in the Manhattan townhouse elevator for 3 days. 3 freaking days on a broken down elevator. Nobody there to help you. Nobody to get you out of there. The thing of nightmares, as far as I'm concerned.
Does nobody else live in this townhouse?
Well, that's a good question. So it says here, a woman was rescued Monday after being trapped in this elevator for 3 days, according to authorities. The woman was stuck in the elevator of a townhouse on East 65th Street near Madison Avenue, 1 block from Central Park. Associated Press reports the townhouse was being owned by a billionaire investment banker from Arkansas, or as some say, Arkansas. The New York City woman said she mistakenly took stranger.
No,
that's a separate thing, isn't it? I hate that.
Thing, yeah.
I hate when those copy in. Gosh dang it. All right, here we go. Firefighters rescued the woman who worked for the family of a banker as a housekeeping employee. Jeez, talking about a friend of my cousin of a friend. Anyway, this is Monday morning around 10 a.m. receiving a 911 call. Firefighters freed the woman after forcing entry into the elevator emergency transmission. She'd been trapped since Friday. I'm trying to find out how she got in there. Okay, she's in stable condition.
How you get in the elevator is pretty easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But what actually happened and why couldn't she get word out until the weekend? It doesn't really say. It just says she was stuck.
I guess it's apparently, so they're the only people who live in this section of the townhouse. She's their housekeeper.
Yeah.
And probably gone for the weekend or something. And she came over, cleaned up, said, all right, hopping in the elevator to go home. Oh, no.
Yeah, no. On my elevator, I will poo in the corner. Hey, I got a thing to tell you that's going to piss you off. You want to hear this? This will completely piss you off. All right, well, piss me off anyway.
Okay.
So I have some, let's call them family, who their company, the business they work for, means they have to travel a lot and do all kinds of really interesting construction work around the country. And it's specialized stuff and super high end. And so you don't go, like they've done work on the U.S. Capitol before and on the White House and stuff like that. And so They go to New York. They're working on a job. And some billionaire owns this building, okay? And it's where they're going to live, and it's been completely renovated and done all new up and everything. And they just got done putting all of the fixtures in terms of like toilets and plumbing fixtures and sinks and everything.
Cool. Okay.
And one of the workers needed to pee. So as you do, like if you're working on a house out here or something, you pee in the toilet that's there. It's okay.
Yeah,
just pee in the toilet.
Exactly.
He pees in the toilet. The owner gets wind of it. That guy gets fired.
Right.
And told, by the way, you never do that. You should have known that going in. He says he didn't. You never do that. I hope I'm getting the story right. I think it's pretty close. And then they tore it all out and put new toilets in.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
They didn't get to christen their own toilet?
This is what I hate about the ultra rich. Now, you can come back to me and go, they earned it. Quit telling them what to do with it. I'm not saying what they should do with their money. I'm saying that's a shitty dick move. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't care how much money you have. Are you floating around going, I can't have somebody else's bum on my porcelain freaking fancy toilet?
I wouldn't say that that's an ultra rich dick move. I'd say that that's just this person's dick move, right? Like, we can't really say, well, all the ultra rich would do this.
Well, that's true, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm sure one of them doesn't. Somebody out there probably doesn't care. But also, when you have enough money, just say tear it out and put a new one in without even thinking about it.
Yeah,
it just sucks. That's lame. Yeah. Just let the guy pee. And
exactly. Was he supposed to go down to the lobby of the building and pee, or?
I hate that. Really hate that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Ozzy Osbourne because it's his turn.
Sharon!
He's still around, still with us.
Finished with my woman.
That's a pretty good Ozzy. I didn't know you did Ozzy. I had no idea.
Never tried to do Ozzy before.
All right. Let's see. How
old
is Ozzy?
I'm pulling out the Fred Durst and the Ozzy Osbourne today on the show.
How old is he now? Let's see.
114.
Born in 48. He was born in 48, so that makes him. I can't find it.
That makes him 71.
70. Yeah. Wow. You know what that means? That means that he was doing in 2002. He was doing that show where he already seemed like he was 71.
Yeah.
He was doing that at like, what would he have been, 50?
Yeah, the Osbournes, the reality show,
Wasn't that old. Sharon Osbourne is right around the same age. Nope, she's 66, but her face is only 5 or 6 years old. Think of that.
It's a plastic surgery, yes, from me.
How do you like your new nose, Sharon? It's a yes from me. Yeah, he's in his 70s. Anyway, she's my wife's dad's age, my father-in-law's age. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, here's the deal. Ozzy Osbourne honors bat biting anniversary with a commemorative plush toy. Brian, you're a music guy. You should probably get this.
Yeah, I should. A plush toy.
Okay. One of Ozzy's most infamous stage incidents happened on January 20th, 1982, when the Prince of Darkness bit the head off a bat during a show at Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa. Now, to mark the anniversary of the occasion, Ozzy is hawking a brand new plush bat toy, or toy bat with a detachable head.
Oh my God. All right, now I want this. I'm seeing it and I want it instantly, and it's already sold out.
Yeah, of course you want it. In a tweet promoting the plush toy, Ozzy writes, I'll bet someone else wrote it, but anyway, Ozzy writes, "Today marks the 37th anniversary since I bit the head off an effing bat. Celebrate with this commemorative plush with a detachable head." And the tweet also shows the gif of the head being attached, or disattached, or
Look at
detached.
that. That is cool. All right.
You gonna get it? You gonna do it?
No, they're sold out. I'm not, but
oh, look at that. Yep.
That's really cool, actually.
I kind of want one too. And they're sold out and done? God.
They're sold out, yeah.
How much were these? $40?
$40. That's the other thing that makes it. Kind of glad it's sold out because I wouldn't be tempted to buy that now.
Yeah.
$40. But...
$40. I mean, it'd be cool if you wrote something on it, or I don't know. I need more than just because I could make one of these. It's not like it's not that fancy of a plush toy. You couldn't just reproduce it, but anyway.
I wish Rainbow Bright would have made the little mini me back there with a removable head.
Oh yeah, we should ask.
So I could put it on a chair and make it scream like in your dream.
We should ask Rainbow Bright what she thinks of this. Do you think this is just malarkey? Could you have done better? I'll bet you could have.
Oh well, she totally could have.
I've got your rad doll right over here. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the kids were showing it yesterday. It's over there. Everybody who comes over gets to see that doll. They're all stoked about it.
Darn right.
Absolutely. Oh, there she is. I see her now.
Yep.
Okay.
Malarkey, she says.
Malarkey?
She says malarkey.
Malarkey. Jeannie said malarkey.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
yep.
That's okay. Jeannie's always...
But Rainbow Bright agreed with her and said yes.
The reason I compared my father-in-law to Ozzy is because they couldn't be more different. It's always interesting to me to see two people exactly the same age and just how vastly different they can be. Like I can't think of a human being that's further away from what Ozzy is than my father-in-law, or the other way around.
He's the anti-Ozzy.
Yeah, he's the anti-Ozzy.
Yes.
He said he never has once in his life. He's never said I. He's never done that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll make some things with Bill or find out what he's been making and give you some tips for all of our amateur makers out there. So that'll be fun. Stick around for that. And then Jerry will be on after that talking about who knows what. I may bring up not Oliver Stone, the Roger Stone stuff because that guy's an alien and I want to talk about him. So we'll see.
Okay.
But before that, though, song from Brian. Brian song?
Sure. Well, he's clearly living on the rails on that sane locomotive. Let's go to Robert in Henderson, Nevada, who says, I'd like to suggest a song for Indie in the Middle. Check out Youth Fables at youthfables.com. The Las Vegas Weekly wrote, hovering somewhere between the electronic styles of ODESZA and Taiko, Youth Fables creates tropical beats and shimmering sonic waves to accompany his intuitive guitar-based melodies.
Wow.
Sounds like a movie reviewer or a music reviewer for a newspaper, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
They saw him in Vegas on Fremont last week. He opened for Matt Thiessen of Reliant K, who they saw in May. Robert Harrington loved the show, though, and then he did send authorization, which you must do if you request an Indie in the Middle. You need to give me authorization to play it from the band, not from you. That doesn't matter.
Nope.
This is a song from their 2018 album, Among the Nightingales. Here is Youth Fables and Lifeguard.
We'll be right back.
Anything goes on this foreign frenzy of frivolous frolic. Now, Bert, what do you think of that?
Somebody left this thing behind, so I've stashed it here.
The Morning Stream. How about a booby?
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back. Let's make some things with Bill. Whoa, you got your gun out?
Got my gun out.
Brian,
Not painted yet, but
are you going to do
it
it?
is right there. Oh, definitely going to do it.
Okay. I like that you're following up on that thing 3.5 years later.
I know. Kind of is, yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't feel bad. I don't have any cool projects like that going right now.
Well, and my diehard Russian nesting doll still sketched but unpainted.
Oh man. Well,
I've got projects working. Lots of projects started, but unfortunately,
I promise I have started and not finished more projects than you.
Probably.
I guarantee you're right. Yes.
You're the who was the famous artist that never finished anything? You're the he made this
Beethoven had a bunch of unfinished symphonies.
Yeah, but the painter he made the Mona Lisa. What's wrong with me?
Da Vinci?
Da Vinci. He never finished anything. He had like stacks and stacks of unfinished everything, including some say the Mona Lisa wasn't even finished. That guy was like the most prolific starter and never finisher.
I still want to put a really big grin on her, big toothy grin, but I never finished the Mona Lisa.
That's right.
I would say that most creative types would agree that most of the things they've made were never truly finished.
Yeah. I feel that way when I draw stuff.
One of my favorite quotes about movie production is that movies are never released.
Yeah.
They escape.
Yeah, they get out of there, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Everyone knows.
The director keeps pulling them back in, adding new scenes, unnecessary scenes to them.
Yep.
Weird, bad CG.
Yep.
Exactly.
This all tracks. I forgot I got to play you a thing. Hold on.
Wild Bill Clinton scandalizing these youths with his penis.
That wasn't about you. That was about a different Bill. Sorry. I screwed that up. I'm gonna rename that file. There you go. All right.
That's gonna make a really weird YouTube video tutorial, but I'll do my best.
Okay, we believe in you. It's good to have you back, by the way. So now that we don't have corporate shills here pushing an album, we have room for Bill as it should be. Hey, it's Bill Duran, everybody. He makes things. He's at punishprops.com. He's been working on stuff, probably a lot of stuff since we last spoke, and I'm very curious about what's going on, man. What'd you bring today?
I made Tom Cruise's pistol from the movie Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. And it's wicked cool. I don't have it with me. I'm at my house. It's at my shop. But there's a video.
Oh, good. We like videos.
Even better.
So the story is really great. Our community, the Prop Tarts, put together their own... Yes. They're awesome. They have a Facebook group and everything.
Yeah.
We love them so much. They put together their own Secret Santa, and they started it like in the summer, so they had lots of time to plan it and make sure everyone was organized with their gifters and giftees. So I participated because I thought that would be fun, and my giftee wanted something from Oblivion, specifically the Tom Cruise Oblivion. I hope they didn't mean Elder Scrolls, in which case they were probably very disappointed by the gun.
Yeah, but not like you don't have a ton of that laying around too. You could probably.
I know I could find a thing to throw.
Yeah.
A Skyrim thing. Anyway, I made it from scratch. I really love the designs in that movie, and at some point I want to make the rifle too. It's like if space guns were made by Apple. It's kind of the design aesthetic, and I love it. So anyway, I thought I would 3D model and 3D print it, which turned out to work out okay.
You have to use aluminium if it's Apple designed. That's how you do it.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
The aluminum bezel around the space gun is really nice touch.
Yeah.
Anyway, I figured this is a really good chance to teach a little bit of 3D modeling. But I'll tell you what, it's kind of challenging to make a video tutorial that includes something technical like 3D modeling, and keep it peppy, keep it moving without dragging everyone into a super technical discussion for 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
So this is what I tried, and I hope it worked out. I recorded all of the video editing, or all the 3D modeling I did, and I edited that down to like a 3-minute chunk of like the overview of 3D modeling, because our video went into 3D modeling and then printing and sanding and painting and all that. And then I took that footage and I made a 30-minute cut. That's like the director's cut of the 3D modeling. I made it its own video just in case any crazy people actually want to watch me talk about me 3D modeling for half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But that way we get the super peppy like overview if people are just kind of getting into this thing, and then if people want to deep dive into the techniques, they can go watch that other video. So
this
I hope that works out.
This Fusion 360 thing you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a web-based tool? It seems like it is.
No, it's not. You gotta download it. It's pretty great though. Autodesk puts it out. If you're a hobbyist or a student or a startup, you can use it for free, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it is crazy powerful. And I dig it a lot.
It looks awesome. Yeah, it reminds me of like I used to feel kind of this way about SketchUp, and then it changed owners, and then it got weird, and now it's weirder, and I don't understand where that thing even is now. But it was great for people like me who aren't, Autodesk freaks and know everything. But it was great for just, okay, I need a quick shape, I need a quick this, or the community put together a rad version of a building I'm looking for, or whatever. Is this a suitable? Is this any easier or harder or similar? Like, what would you say? Compare it.
I've used both SketchUp and I've used every 3D modeling software under the sun for the most part. But if we're comparing SketchUp to Fusion, I personally prefer Fusion. Just because, maybe SketchUp has changed, but back when I used it, I wanted to put a bevel on something, and it wasn't built into the software. You had to go get a plugin for that, and that seemed like a really basic sort of put a chamfer on something. How am I going to make an iPhone if I can't put chamfers on it?
Yeah, so, it was very hard-edged, everying in that thing.
Chamfer the aluminium.
Yeah. So I know a lot of woodworkers who prefer SketchUp, but for 3D modeling, and especially if you're going to do 3D printing, or even more importantly, if you're going to do CAM and you have a CNC router, Fusion is awesome for that. It's got all the cam stuff built right into it, which makes it ridiculously powerful.
Nice.
And like I said, you can get it for free.
And can you take your geometry in there, poop it out, and 3D print it?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I did for my Oblivion pistol.
Nice.
In fact, this would be, I know it, like, on the surface when you look at it, it might seem really complicated, but it's actually a pretty simple, simple's not the right word, but it's a lot less complicated than something like my Blade Runner blaster. That thing took me weeks to model. This took me about an hour and a half. So if you're looking to challenge yourself and get into this 3D modeling, I recommend going and watching the video, downloading the software, giving it a try. And then, of course, once you 3D print it, then there's the sanding, the filling, the sanding, the priming, the sanding, the priming again, and of course then the painting.
Yeah, all the usual accoutrements that you would add to this thing. So I'm looking at the basic 3D printed stuff. This all looks pretty easy. Like, I mean, what I mean is this isn't the hardest project you've ever done, but the end result is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. The effort to reward ratio is heavily favored on the reward side.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I recommend it. And of course, if anyone wants to try and do something like this with any of their other favorite things from their favorite movies, the techniques, the 3D modeling techniques are all the same. You just make the shape a little different.
Yeah, this is a pretty lengthy video. Looks like you've really gone into some detail here.
Yeah, our videos have started to get a lot longer, which people seem to enjoy. So.
Oh, I was going to ask, what's the response been to that? Because it's always such a weird thing on YouTube. I think it depends on the content, obviously, but you never know which is the way to go. Is brevity more important for this kind of content, or do people prefer long form? And do you find they prefer the long form?
Well, it really just depends on the type of content you're making, but what we've found is that our videos have sort of taken on the vibe of Adam Savage's one-day builds, where it's just like, come along with me in the shop today. I'm going to show you everything. We try and keep it paced really well, so it's not just me talking at the camera the whole time. And then the edit, it goes from 5 hours of footage to 45 minutes of footage, so a lot gets cut away. But what's left is really useful information, and we also try and keep it peppy, so it's not boring. But we don't leave anything out, so the videos are getting longer, but they're concise.
Well, that's
People
awesome.
seem to like that.
Yeah. Pretty good version of the gun from a relatively average film that I think is better than people give it credit for. I like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
The look of that movie is enough to make me like it more than probably I should like it, I think.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. Sometimes
I can watch that movie with the sound off and be fine.
Sometimes that's enough for me, I just need to be visually pleased, and then I'm good.
Yeah. I did that on a plane. Now, the guy in front of me fired up Fury Road on his little screen, and I just sort of leaned over and looked between the seats, and I watched Fury Road with the sound off for an entire flight, and it was great.
Yeah, of course it was, because it's the greatest film of the last 20 years.
I could have turned it on my TV if I wanted to and listened to it, but I was like, this is fine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, of course, this video is up now at punishedprops.com and on the YouTube channel, so people should check that out. Do you have a fuzzy, tasty little tidbit to leave us with this week?
Oh, do I ever? So somehow, I didn't realize that Industrial Light and Magic Visual Effects had their own YouTube channel. So I found this video. I just linked it in the chat. It is creating Lando's Millennium Falcon. So it's a short vignette that just covers a little bit of the behind the scenes on how they made the Falcon into Lando's version of it, and then what happened to it during the Solo film, which was awesome.
That is, yeah.
Did they ever talk about what was housed in the middle bit of the fork? Did they ever get into that?
Jabba's cargo.
Oh, they do.
They do. No, in the movie they show what happens in that near the end. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I remember what happens, but I can't remember what it was. It's been a while. I just don't remember what it was used for before it was removed.
And I'm gonna spoil it in case anyone cares.
That's fine. It's fine.
It was an escape pod that Lando added to the ship. It was an additional thing, so that closed the mandibles in the front. Then at the end, they fired into the maw of a beast.
Oh.
So it looks more like
the Ark of the Covenant was stored in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize it had a use. I guess I wasn't paying very good attention. Well, that's awesome. I'm gonna watch this. I didn't know they did these either. ILM Visual FX is the channel.
Yeah, and they have a ton of more stuff on there, so I'm gonna go watch all that like as soon as we're done talking.
Oh, this is so cool. They like show you the sketches and wow,
mock-ups, models.
This is really cool.
Yeah. This makes me want to kiss someone on the lips. This is fantastic.
Wow.
Well, Bill, this is awesome. Thank you for that. It's Bill Duran, everybody. Chinbeard on Twitter. Find him there. It's good to talk to you. We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye now.
See you.
His goodbyes are always funny. He's like, he does these like kind of like little, like not even like salutes. I don't know what to call him. It's very odd. Right. All right, we're gonna try to get Justin on here. We're gonna see if he's
gonna make an attempt.
Well, we'll see if he's gonna even make this, or if Discord's even gonna work for him, because sometimes we struggle with that. But if it doesn't work, we'll call him on Skype. Whatever we have to do, we'll find out shortly. For a little segment we call Jury Duty. And here's his theme song thing.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
It's Justin Robert Young, all the way from Oakland, California. Hello, Justin. And he's muted. I knew it. I told you. This is how it was going to be. Yeah. This is a mute. I mean, this is, you know.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
I
hear him now.
There he is.
Yeah, we hear you, buddy boy.
It's a great Discord feature of turning to push to talk randomly.
Yeah.
That's an awesome feature that Discord has.
Never happened once to me, but...
Love it.
Never to be
Wow, it's only... I love that you say that when it repeatedly happens to me. I love that that's a great thing to come back with.
Was it even better?
It is the worst thing, right?
Was it
even...
like
somebody tech support calls, yeah, my app won't launch. Oh, lunch is fine for me.
Yeah, I don't know. My phone works great. I don't know what you're up to. Jeez.
All right, I hadn't thought of that. Probably helped too that Brian at the end said, yeah, me neither. We're just like, yeah, it doesn't happen to us. It's fine. But it doesn't matter. You're here. We hear you now. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Justin Robert Young, all the way from the confines of the fine studio he works out of, where there's birds and a really cool wife and other cool things that happen there. It's good to have you here. Now, we have avoided for a while here the topic of politics, but I feel like now that there's an actual alien lizard man in custody with a Nixon tattoo on his back, we have to at least talk about that guy a little bit, because it feels like it's up your alley that I shouldn't say he's in custody. He bailed out he paid bail and is now out.
He was indicted. He has been indicted on, I believe, 7 charges stemming from the Mueller report, and he is now, I guess, awaiting trial.
All right. So when he was arrested at like 4 a.m. or something, with a bunch of FBI guys that said, "Open the door," and they busted in there and took him. So very dramatic.
Seemed a little aggressive for an elderly man.
For an old
but he's pretty jacked. You know, he's in shape for his age. So who knows? He's
we don't know if he has spider holes that he could have crawled into in his.
Yeah, no, totally. And by the way,
I know the area that they raided, because he got raided in Fort Lauderdale. There's actually a great Brazilian steakhouse right around the corner from his apartment.
Brazilian steakhouses are the best steakhouses, by the way.
Yeah, big shout out to Chima. If there's anybody who's working at Chima, let me know next time I'm in town. I'd love to get the hookup.
Chima. All right. So they bust in there. They get him out of there. He says he was treated worse than Osama bin Laden when they did that, and I'm thinking, well, were you shot in the head and thrown in a river or a lake or ocean or whatever? Because if it didn't go that far,
I mean, I don't know. If we really want to get into the semantics of what Roger Stone's quote bait is, then we can. I do think it was a little aggressive. I think that there's a very credible, some of the stuff on the right that they complain about is that CNN was right there, which they were like recording it and broadcasting it near live.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say that they were probably tipped off by, at the very least, the local FBI that this was going to happen. But look, Roger Stone has been a political operative for a very, very long time. He has made a living staying on the fringes of politics, and if anything, his brand has kind of been, I'm the living embodiment of Nixon's dirty tricks, to the point where he has a Nixon tattoo on his back.
A very photorealistic tattoo, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not seen it, Brian? You got to look at that thing.
I have not seen it. I'm looking for it now.
I actually first saw it. I first saw his Nixon tattoo at the Republican convention in 2016 when a guy that I was interviewing for BitTorrent worked with Roger Stone and said, Roger just sent me this picture, and it was Alex Jones pointing at Roger Stone's Nixon tattoo.
Oh,
they were just a couple of bros getting shirtless, pointing at each other's tattoos. It was great.
Wait, does Alex Jones have a bunch of tattoos, or a tattoo or two, or something?
I don't know if. I mean, I would assume if Alex Jones did, it would probably be like a sword or something. On his abdomen. I don't think so, though. I mean, he's gotten fairly naked, Alex Jones, and I don't remember any tattoos.
Yeah, fairly naked. There's a lot of meaning to that. So, all right, the fact that okay.
Now, the funny thing about Roger Stone is he never really worked for Nixon.
No. Well,
like,
he was
that's his brand.
He was like an intern or something, right? Or some kind of
weird... but he wasn't like to hear him talk about it. You would have thought that he was the one, breaking into Watergate and all that. But no, he's just kind of been an operative on the fringes, and he seems fairly politically astute, specifically in our modern era where niche means more than anything. Mm-hmm. I think he understands small communities a lot better than some people do. Mm-hmm. So that was ultimately, I think, why he was a great fit for Donald Trump. Now, I mean, we can talk about the indictments, but most of them seem to center around, they all do. Having read the indictments, they all center around what happened afterward.
Yeah.
Specifically him lying to Congress and intimidating a radio show host in New York into not testifying or speaking to the FBI, and threatening his dog, and there's a lot of weird stuff in there.
Yeah, he also looks weird. Now, I don't want to shame anybody's physical appearance. Certainly, I have nothing to brag about. If I go and look in the mirror right now, it's not a good sight. But he's a weird looking dude. Like a very weird looking dude. He's kind of jacked and big. Mm-hmm. He's got this big Nixon face on the middle of his back. Brian, you've seen it now, right?
I've seen it now, yes. He's the swinger with the Nixon tattoo.
It would only be cool if it was the Nixon head in a jar from Futurama, in my opinion.
It'd be really easy to turn it into that, by the way. Like, super easy to just put a jar around that thing.
Just tweak that thing and get it in the right spot. But then...
he looks like a jacked Henry Gibson.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. So, but then if you look at his profile, he's just shaped weird, man. That guy's a weird-looking dude, and he's been weird-looking since those early Nixon days, or the days he claimed he worked all this stuff out for Nixon there when he was just an intern in his 20s. But he looked weird then, too. So the only reason I'm bringing all of that up is just to say...
I mean, number one, we are talking about politics, which tends to be a haven of misshapen people.
Does it though? Because he looks like he's a V.
No, I mean, come on. In the world of politics, you're gonna stand him next to James Carville, who looks like Skeletor before he lost his skin, and say that Roger Stone's the weird one.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's an odd genre.
It's a nonpartisan issue as far as I'm concerned.
They're grease paint away from death metal.
No, you're right. I agree with this. I agree with everything you're saying about this. I think that they're all kind of weird looking. Some of them are, especially the ones that are the most fringy. And Carville's a great example of that. But then I heard, so forget about all that for a second. Then I heard that he is known for decades of being a major swinger. Him and his wife are just out there just going, hey, yo, yo, yo.
That apparently was the big scandal that got him fired, or had actually made him resign from the Bob Dole campaign.
Oh, because he was a swinger?
Because he and his wife put an ad in the paper looking for hot people to join him for a threesome.
Did Dole say... Bob Dole doesn't hire swingers? Nope, Bob Dole doesn't do that. Yes. Bob Dole says I'll tear you a new corn suit.
Bob Dole does it the old-fashioned way. Bob Dole meets him at the barn and gives him a firm handshake and tells him to meet him in the back. That's how Bob Dole organizes it 3 ways.
Exactly. So get off of my campaign, he basically said. So I didn't know that, or I didn't realize that.
Yeah, here it is. Right. He had to drop out of Bob Dole's 1996 presidential campaign when a tabloid published an article asserting that he and his wife, Nydia, had placed an ad looking for sex partners in a swingers magazine. Oh,
Nice.
Years later, he admitted it was true. There we go.
Well, of course he did. Because
he calls himself a trisexual.
A trisexual.
Because he's tried everything, he says. Is his joke.
So has everyone who's been in that room with him. Trust me. Like that, they have become now I've seen it all sexuals is what they've become. Right. Like who gets the raw end of that stick? They go, they write they do their little thing in the magazine. They meet up with the couple. The husband sees his wife and goes, man, all right. The woman, I assume it's the woman. I don't know if this is flipped, but she sees Roger Stone and goes, yeah, like he's a weird looking dude. Right. And she's going to have to see that tattoo. Oh.
I really don't.
That would be the way he would be pointed.
Well, look, he said he tried everything. So,
good point. Yeah, good point.
I mean, I don't quite get your fixation that Roger Stone looks any weirder than most people in politics.
I think he looks.
Let's look at Mitch McConnell for a second.
They're all weird looking. You're not wrong. Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle. I know. Everyone's got their thing. Not all of them can be as attractive as I don't know who's attractive. Trudeau. There you go. Trudeau. Is it Camilla?
He's like
the Harris lady, the one that's running now. She's nice looking.
Yeah, Kamala. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer to steer away from this.
Well, I'm not going to talk about. That's not what I mean.
There's no win in me going hot or not on
good point.
I'm not going hot or not.
If anything. No, you just started listing who's hot.
No,
you literally just started saying.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say hot.
Trudeau,
I said
Kamala
normal.
Harris.
I said normal, not hot. Now here's what I want to say. I think that if you made a lineup of people, he would be picked out as the weirdest looking dude in the lineup,
but again,
regardless.
Candidates are going to be more attractive than the people who work behind the scenes. He works behind the scenes.
Okay.
And I guess he looks like to be honest, you want to know what he does look like? He looks like a guy who lives in Fort Lauderdale and puts swingers ads in swingers magazines.
He looks like okay. This is what it's like to me. You take any person, stand him next to Roger Stone. That would be like taking Ripley and putting her next to a xenomorph. That's the difference.
I don't. You have a weird body dysmorphia with Roger Stone.
I don't think he's that weird looking.
No, he's just kind of an old guy who's like in shape.
Hold on. I have a great link for you.
Oh, of course, yes. Let's find the weirdest picture we can find of Roger Stone. I'll find the most normal picture.
Some artist, and I hope I can even find it. It's going to be hard to find. But there's someone did an art rendition of his profile and then did all the measurements and then compared it to a normal Homo sapien skull, and it's not the same. It's jacked up. There's something wrong.
I think the weirdest thing
I swear to God,
one
of these days, you just need to publish your Google results. Like the rat holes that you go down. I think that I am into weird politics stuff. Like you are Googling what Roger Stone's skull shape is.
Yeah, honestly, that is what I see. You're not wrong. I mean, this isn't even an embarrassing thing for me. Like, this is the stuff where my eye goes. I'm not paying attention to much else with him. Like, I think he's a blowhard, and he's probably in huge trouble now, and he can go on all the Fox shows he wants. And it's not going to help him, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can get into all that if we want to. But at the end of the day, what it is for me, and I'll fully admit this, it's how weird looking he is. And it has been since I ever even heard of the guy. And that he's got the tattoo. That he's just this walking freak show who swings. Like, there's something about the package there that it's just freaking odd. It's just odd. And that he's this echelon of, like, influence. Like, he's up there, one of Trump's greatest friends, although I'm sure that's about to change via a tweet. But
is he? I mean, again, it's like, they did the documentary on Netflix, which I think kind of overstates his importance. I think he's somebody that, very much early on believed in Donald Trump. So Trump, by all accounts, is somebody who values loyalty almost over everything else. So somebody that was in there early is somebody that he is going to value. but he wasn't officially a part of the campaign, and he's just kind of a wackadoodle. He's always been a bit of a wackadoodle, and he does dress weird. I'll say that his weird, a circle. They're like as if like. Yeah, as if John Lennon's glasses became Ray-Bans, like
right halfway through the morph.
Yeah, like that, and he wears these like bizarre zoot suits that kind of like.
I just posted one in the chat room. His Dick Tracy look, like a yellow, yellow hat and suit.
Lots of. I mean, Again,
I don't know. You see something when you look at Roger Stone, you see a weirdness that I simply don't. He just looks like an old dude.
I will show you the photo that I'm thinking of here.
He just always has that perma-frown, pursed lip perma-frown thing going on. Every photo you look at him, even
he's a
even
character.
The Fox News photos are not.
Look, he walked out of jail and gave the Nixon salute. He knows where the cameras are.
No, you're right.
This is his thing.
You're right. It's all true. So this picture I'm looking at, I just put a link in the chat. He's got. It's okay. I don't know if this comes from my life drawing classes or whatever, but when this artist posted this like diagram showing a proper human skull, meaning one that's supposed to be shaped a certain way and is on average pretty much the same for all of us, and then his is really out there. It's like a big outlier. That's all. It's just a physical weird thing I have with them. I can't explain it. I don't know why my head goes this way, but it just does. So then that's me. That's my terrible thing.
Mark this date, January 29th, as the day that Scott fully embraced phrenology. Finally we can determine how people act based on their skull shape.
Well, and I don't think it has anything to do with the way he acts. Like that's not the thing. It's like what's it like? I can't think of anyone. That's the thing. He's unlike.
Now we can move on to palm reading.
He's unlike any head I've ever seen, and I don't mean. Oh, does the chat room have it?
It's the same one you posted earlier with the superimposed skull on his head.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. It's just not. Something happened. Something's wrong there. Now, I'm not saying that it has anything to do with his politics or his behavior or his whoever he is. He can be whoever he wants to be. I don't care.
What the hell are you doing?
Look at it.
This is what you were freaking out about?
Look at it. Look at the back end.
A superimposed skull. This is something that would be on the back of Mulder's wall in the X-Files.
This wasn't it. This was the artist thing is not it, but it's a similar thing.
Scott, we have to have it like there are times I've muted Political Scott like 4 times, like when you've just gotten into these weird, and then I feel bad, and then I'm like, all right, let me unmute Political Scott, and then like you are just, I have to, there needs to be an intervention when this is what you're spending your days doing.
This isn't what I'm spending my days doing. I saw somebody did this isn't it, but someone did a sketch that was similar to this, and that was it. I saw it on Twitter. I didn't go on a deep dive to find it. I didn't spend all afternoon digging it up. It was just there. There it was. And I went, oh yeah, look at that. He's weird looking. Someone else agrees with me. He's a weird mother effer.
You began this topic of let's talk about politics, and now we're talking about the skull shape of Roger Stone.
No, I get it. This is totally me, though. Like, if you know me at all, this is me my whole life.
No, I know. I just think that you found although I would rather you focusing on people's skulls than getting into bizarre proclamation wars on Twitter about, whatever random thing that happened that day.
Well, listen, that's the fun thing about Political Scott. You probably should mute it, because if it's annoying, I wouldn't follow it. Like, it's all just me venting. It's a way for me to get it out. So I'll vent, and then go back to my normal account where anyone can follow me and never get any politics. So that's what you should do. If it sucks, you should mute it. For real. Anyone else out there following it?
I feel bad, though. I feel bad,
feel bad.
Then I unmute it. No, this is between, you can't tell me how I feel, Scott. I do what I want. My feelings are my own. And I feel bad, and then I unmute it, and then I get annoyed, and then I mute it, and then I unmute it.
Yeah.
This is my relationship with you on Twitter when it comes to the political.
It's our entire relationship between Justin and I.
I'm sure a lot of people do it for me too. I got lit up the other day by somebody that I didn't realize that I was on some level their tormentor.
Yeah.
On Twitter, that anytime I make a political comment, like that he was boiling to the point where he wanted to flame me, and then he like came back down and didn't. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's a Twitter thing or whether it's a political time thing. But it seems like there's a lot of that going around. Like everybody's at a low simmer as soon as they open the app, and it gets to boiling point very fast.
Really quickly, yeah.
Yeah. I wish there were more people like me focused on what matters, and that is the skull shape of Roger Stone.
Skull shape, yes.
The skull shape of Roger Stone.
Yeah, Roger Stone's weird skull shape. Because
by the way,
missing link.
By the way, hopefully we will be at least to the end of the Mueller investigation soon, according to the acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, and the rumor is that Mueller doesn't want to submit it until William Barr, in the process of being confirmed, new Attorney General, gets in, because Mueller trusts Barr more than Whitaker to release the majority of it, if not all of it.
He was sure sweaty, by the way.
Hopefully we'll be toward the end.
I don't know if you saw that.
Sweaty?
Did you see how sweaty? See, here I go again. This is what I notice. In that announcement, or when he was being interviewed and told that.
Yeah.
Sweating like, and I don't know how hot those lights are. I don't know if the guy's got a sweat thing. It doesn't matter. The point is he was just gushing sweat.
Dripping, really.
Just pouring sweat in that interview.
I mean, he's kind of a portly gentleman, right?
Yeah. But, I don't know if that should make you sweat that much. Maybe he just doesn't like cameras. I mean, he's usually behind the scenes kind of guy anyway. At least in this
I would imagine
transition.
that's a fairly stressful situation. Like even for him, like, yeah, that should be a fairly easy confirmation since he's held the job before. So it shouldn't, there's not going to be a lot of people that are like, hey, you can't do this job when he's previously done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine that's probably a fairly stressful thing. But do you think that he was like nervous that it was like a cartoon? He was just like, no, they're getting at it.
Well, I mean, he looked like he just looked like there's a lot of pressure on him. He's really nervous. Like, I don't know the guy.
Well, I think that would be safe to say. Right? Yeah, I agree. I think there's probably he's on national television with a panel of people, 6 of which are on his side and 6 of which want him to erupt into flames and have a tiny little Hitler alien be revealed in his skull. I think that would put the screws to somebody.
Yeah, I can't find the image I'm thinking of, but there's a shot where he is just a sweaty mess. It's like he's pushing cheese out of his pores. It's not good. Anyway, but these are the things I notice. I can't help it. My mom used to say, well, that's because you draw, son. That's why you notice these things. Just don't be mean to anybody about it. And so I tried really hard growing up not to be mean. I see a kid with a weird head, and I'd go, oh, just keep that to myself. But boy, that kid's got a weird head. And I'd still be friends with him, still want to hang out with him. Doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't change how I feel.
How long into your friendship would you tell them that they had a weird head?
It depends on how. Well, a lot of times what would happen is we would all be reminded that I'm the one with the weird head because no hats would fit. So I would have to go, like even today.
You're just waiting for that other shoe to drop, aren't you, Jerry? like one day during this thing, he's going to be saying, by the way, Jerry.
Like I have to. So here's
a really weird shaped head.
In the modern era.
I have a head that's almost a perfect circle.
Oh, you're lucky.
Which is why I have the beard, because my chin is really only in name only. It is more of like a little bunny slope into my neck. It's like a speed bump. It goes like lip, neck, and if you blink, you miss it.
Yeah, I totally get that. But like today in 2019, if I want a hat that fits me, I have to go through hoops. I can't even just go to Amazon. I got to like find specialty freaking hat makers. This hat I'm wearing now,
hat store.
It's like one of the very few hats I own that fit, and even then it's a little tight. Like I got a weird big head. And
did you ever think about going to a bigger like style hat, like cowboy hats or bowlers? Or
no, because
like
I can't wear these headphones on top. They don't fit in my podcast lifestyle. But here's the other thing. My daughter, who's giving birth tomorrow, she's being induced in the morning.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Jeez.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So that's all going to happen. And here's the thing. Her doctor said, we were in there hanging out with him once, and one of the things he said recently on one of the most recent scans, or what do they call it? Where they do the thing on you? Whatever it's called. What's that called? They put the jelly on you and do the thing?
Baby, the old baby
ultrasound.
Ultrasound.
Yes, okay.
She, the doctor has commented numerous times on how big the kid's head is. And I'm thinking, no, I've cursed him with the Johnson head. He'll have smaller than average feet. He'll be really tall, have tiny ears, and a big head, which is me. So anyway, look, I'm just gonna say
that's an interesting reaction to an ultrasound.
Again, this is what I do. Like most people go, "Oh, look at him, he's so cute. I don't care how big what his head is," and I'm like, "Oh, look, he's so cute, but man, look at that head." Like it's just gonna be what I do.
But also, like, I've never had kids, but is that necessarily like a 1-for-1? Like, if they have a big head in utero, like that they're definitely going to have that they're going to be a gigantic cartoon character when they come out.
No, in fact, my daughter in question, she's very small featured, very petite. She's the shortest of the kids. Like, there was no way we would have known any of that. Carter shot up and became 6'2" or whatever she is now without any warning. We don't know where Nick will end up, but he's probably right where he would be, where he's going to be, and he's like right in the middle. Like there, and he's got a kind of a bigger head, but not really. Carter's head's bigger, but Taylor's is small. Like there's no rule. This is just me going, what's that I see? I see a thing. I don't know. And it's not a judgment. It's not me going, oh, you suck because you're weird looking.
No. It's just you noticing these. I do think that it is the artistic element of it, of thinking about angles and shapes and
how would I draw that shape?
Yeah. It drives my wife crazy. Like it drives her nuts. And
well, I can only imagine when you're telling your kids how weird their heads are during breakfast.
I mean, she's kind of used to some of that stuff, but we'll be in public and she'll say, look at that view. And I'll say, the way that mountain intersects looks like a guy hanging upside down with his mouth open. Isn't that weird? And she'll go, why do you see these things? How do you see that? My mom said this too when I was growing up. She'd be like, you'd see things in the weirdest places. And I go, well, example. She'd say, you'd wash the dishes and you weren't done. It would take you forever to do it. And I'd come in 10 minutes later and you got this giant bubble sculpture. And I go, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing the dishes? I'm making a version of the thing that was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Mom, look, it's made out of bubbles. Like that was constantly my head as a kid. And so I just do it now. I just do it now. And I talk about it on a show.
But to Roger Stone.
Oh yeah, Roger Stone. He's really weird looking. But aside from that, he's gonna
go ahead.
Yeah, I aside from that, on the political end of it, do you see anything that he's wrapped up in, or potentially any further indictments before this Mueller report? Do you see any of this actually doing anything to? Some people think this means, now we're really getting close to the inner circle. Now you remove Trump. Is that all just a bunch of blah, and we're just gonna have to have an election in 2020? And that's just the way it is.
I think the modus operandi that I would encourage everybody to do is that, yes, there will probably be an election in 2020 that has Donald Trump on the ballot. The larger thing is this. There is what the investigation says. There is how compelling the proof is that Donald Trump did something. And then that ends, right? That's over. And then there's a political process as to removal. And that political process is something that's very, very, very dangerous on the Democratic side, because a move to remove all of a sudden will galvanize what may be, specifically coming out of the shutdown and the fact that Donald Trump did not get money for his wall, that might repair some of his fractured base. because now they'll have a common enemy of, look at what the Democrats are trying to do. They can't even beat them. They're trying to remove them. This is the deep state at work.
Yeah.
This is a Democratic, a move to do it. And that might galvanize it. Now, it might not, but the big thing that you have to remember is that is a political process, and it will require a very, 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 very low approval rating from the Trump side to go through, because otherwise, remember, Clinton was never more popular than he was during the impeachment, because it was looked at as a partisan thing. If this is looked at as a partisan thing and not like a dispassionate a carriage of justice, then I think that'll be what it is. I'm glad that you just showed Roger Stone in profile and not more hentai.
Hentai.
Yes.
That was an American comic book and was not anything close to hentai, but I take your point. Hey, here's Roger Stone as a young man. He wasn't as weird looking. I think it happened over time. I think he got involved in whatever he was involved with and got real weird. That's all. That's where we'll leave that. Hey, Justin, congratulations on your successful rise to the top with your album.
I'd like to credit TMS. TMS is the only reason why we had any success. TMS is the best. We were actually going to rename the special edition of the album TMS Made Us. So yeah, I want to, in all seriousness, I think that the success of the album really is a lot about our communities. Our communities are not the ones that are going to get written up in newspapers or get covered on blogs and stuff like that, and yet we have the power to kind of set the world on fire if we all band together, and I was proud to be a part of it last week, and know that you guys, anytime that there's any projects, we are always the wind at your back as well with Night Attack, which does bring me to a new podcast that we're all a part of, right?
I think so. Yes. White Whale Weekly coming up soon, and
yeah, heck yeah,
yeah. No, the top podcaster. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way, once the elimination episodes start airing, if we do the elimination episode circuit, right? Like the people who get eliminated start going on other podcasts to talk about their elimination kind of thing.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, like the little follow-ups and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What was it like being on the show and stuff like that?
It was the worst. That Justin guy made me cry all night.
Yeah, I've been the mean wait, so what is up now? I don't know. I keep not talking because I assume that I'm part of some invisible NDA.
There's an invisible NDA that I did not have you sign because I did not write one. But so far, we just got approved on iTunes. So the first episode, which is the introduction episode, where I talked to each of the contestants, and then the episode where I talked to all of you judges, and I talked to Tom about what he's going to be doing as far as coaching. That episode's gone up, and it ends with me giving the first challenge to the podcasters. So tomorrow their submissions go up on that feed, so you hear the three episodes that they created. The first ones you judged, and then I'm getting with Hammond to figure out a realistic schedule. It's going to be a weekly schedule, but at some point this week, the first episode with the first elimination is going to go up.
Okay, so we're very early in the actual what people can see part of this. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's
yeah, go ahead.
I think we can say that we're not recording. We are recording this weekly, but we are ahead of where people will be listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it will be on the Ultra feed, by the way. That some in the chat have asked, and I should make that clear. We'll put it on the Frog Pants Ultra feed, actually ASAP. So, Brian, I got to get with you on that. But yes, you'll be able to get it there if you're already subscribed. Go ahead, Justin. I cut you off.
It's intense.
It's
a lot more intense. It's a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be, and I've found myself. We were talking about this yesterday when we were recording. That I found myself kind of changing the way that I handle my podcasts. Like I've thought about literally the craft that I make my living doing, more than I have in a while. And I think it's a very worthwhile show to listen to. And there's some great talent on there. And man, I'll tell you what, if nothing else, if you're starting a podcast, and I'm sure the three of us get a lot of, hey, I'm starting a podcast, what should I do?
Mm-hmm.
For nothing else, to just get the ghost stories in your head of like, what happens when I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, you're going to hear it from somebody else. You're going to feel that feeling inside yourself. And then you're going to hear Scott, Nicole, and I, and oftentimes mostly me, be mean about whether or not that was a good or a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it's a role that I now initially I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is part of the reality thing, and
Yeah.
I'll be a little bit more pointed. But now it's like I almost kind of feel like, no, this is valuable. I would rather that people go through this surrealistic situation and hear this advice for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I've been amazed at how this has gone beyond what I was even expecting for it. The coaching sessions with Tom have been absolutely amazing, and then the judging sessions with you guys have been super insightful. And not only have they helped you and the contestants, they've helped me too.
Yeah.
Get, stuff
I've really enjoyed the process. So the bottom line is you guys should check this out. And first episode lands. You got your iTunes feed. You got, of course, the RSS feed if you're using like some independent player or whatever. Just copy it in there and you're good to go.
Yeah, pop it on in there.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Brian, congratulations, because it is compelling. It's compelling to be a part of, and I can't imagine, because I haven't listened to Tom's coaching things. I don't know. I'm super pumped.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm loving it, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Long time coming. 2013 is when I started working on this, because there's so many pieces and parts that have to all line up to make it work. And
wait, really? You started working on this 6 years ago?
Well, it was the idea then, right? And then sort of just started
the idea,
hacking away
and
at it.
even like coming up with challenges, because that was the kicker, is how you come up with a good, solid, decent challenge every week that is not just like a fluffy, all right, do this. It's like, all right, this teaches you about a specific aspect of podcasting.
I want to do a challenge with Scott and Nicole.
Oh yeah. The Between Us. That's an interesting little Pro Bowl kind of thing at the end.
Yeah.
God, I love that idea.
Yeah, I want to do one of these challenges because I want to see. Because my assumption is it's really effing hard for everybody, for a bunch of strangers.
Not even a week. They get 5 days. Yeah.
Like, I have a hard enough time talking to like people that are effectively brothers to me at this point. Like, that I have a shorthand with and I've shared like life experiences with. I can't imagine, because some of these teams are like, what? They start at 5, 4 or 5?
Mm-hmm. Four people teams.
Yeah, 4 people teams, and they're all over.
Yeah.
And then they got to come up with something cohesive, and knowing that I'm just this jackal that's gonna like yell at them, like that's a mean thing to do. But I'm curious to do. I'm curious to see how well Scott, Nicole, and I could do one.
We should try. I wouldn't mind. I'd do that.
That would be great. Could we let the 12 contestants vote, right? Or
oh yeah.
Let them have their way. Yeah. Even ones who have been kicked. Everybody, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That's a great idea. That's some bonus content you should get some money for. That's what you should do there. That's good stuff.
And it is going up on a lot of people backed on Kickstarter, and they're getting all of the extra recordings that Tom's full coaching session, the full judging, all that stuff. We're putting together a Patreon for that as well, so I'll have information about that by the end of the week.
Nice. Justin, anything else before you get out of here? You got a show tonight and all that?
Show tonight, comedian Kate Raft is on the show tonight. We are back to normal. There's something else. We're putting together South by. So
when your didn't your contender thing get something?
Oh, Jesus Christ! So many things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go listen to the Jury podcast from yesterday. Wasn't a live episode, but was a recorded episode that's pretty rad. If you like The Contender or Action News, good news! We are now partnered with Golden Bell Entertainment. May or may not know them, but they are awesome. It's a small company out of Ohio that has made a real name for themselves over the last few years in licensing and game creation themselves. We've really kind of meshed with them, and now that we are in partnership, it means, number one, we're going to have a lot more of a presence at conventions all over the country. We're going to have some really cool, we already have some really cool licensing opportunities that I can't talk about, but hopefully they come true, and I'll be able to talk about them a lot. And it just means that expansions for both games now far more of a likelihood. John and I can focus on what we do best, which is game creation and all that, and a lot of the logistics, business stuff, and business development is now on the Golden Bell side, which is awesome. But I'll tell you what, if you really like an inside tabletop conversation, including a lot of the nitty-gritty on how you deal with distributors and what the game cycle looks like, what the conventional wisdom is, what parts of the conventional wisdom we think is actual wisdom, and what is dogma, go ahead and listen to Jury Daily on Monday.
Nice. Justin Robert Young. Justin R. Young on Twitter. Follow him there. He might mute you, though. Just so you know, he might mute you there.
Only if you start talking about head shape, skull shape.
Can be. If you talk about skull shapes of strange lizard men, you're in trouble. I got a quick email to take us out today before we leave, and this comes to us from a name I didn't write down. Oh, just another pilot in the community.
Right. Yes, we can't give any more details.
Yeah, we can't say that any more than that. But he says airplane farts is the subject. Most airplanes have compressed air outside coming in, so most of the air outside the airplane is completely expelled within 12 seconds. Yes, I'm saying most air you're breathing was compressed down by the engine. Yes, air comes from the engine. It's weird, but true, I promise, except for the Boeing 787. The air escaping can be from the natural tendency for the airplane to leak. Also, there are pressurization valves that specifically open a little to make sure air comes in. To make sure air is let out. I think what air comes in is let out as fast as it needs to be, just to keep up with airplane pressure and keep the vessel from cracking. If you read this on the show, don't use my real name, but you can call me just another pilot in the community. So some clarification on how plane farts work. So there you go.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Smart.
We got another one from an airline mechanic in our email that said basically roughly the same thing.
Yeah, they would know better than us for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So huge thanks to them for that. We have a big thing to say about our Vegas meetup in April, but we can't quite do it yet because we're waiting for a contract. As soon as we get that and we've been able to go over it, make sure everything's on the up and good, it is awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. So hold on to your butts. Reserve your rooms. All the information's at vivatmsvegas.com.
Correct. Yep.
And everything we have so far is there. And as soon as this is available, that'll be up there. Of course, we'll talk about it on the show. Very, very cool and exciting stuff coming in April. So watch for that.
That's right.
For all else you need, frogpants.com/TMS. And consider supporting us at patreon.com/TMS. It matters muchly that you do. That's patreon.com/TMS. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Brian, do you have a song?
I do. Dude, we're 87 days away from this thing happening. Oh, my God.
Holy crap.
Terry Z wrote in, the 25th was my 72nd birthday. Wow. I've been listening to TMS since its debut, and the instance long before that, still playing WoW, but not currently in a raid team. Sad face. I'm a true child of the 60s. High school grad in 65, college grad in 69. These songs always bring me back to that time. I don't know if there are any covers of these. Oh, of course there are. But if there are, I'm sure you would know about them. Love to show dough. Terry Z from Chicago.
Okay.
I like that we attract listeners in every demographic. I love that.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I do too.
Terry wanted to hear a cover of Grace Slick or Jefferson Airplane's Somebody to Love. By the way, that song, or am I thinking of White Rabbit? No, I'm sorry. White Rabbit was done by Grace Slick's previous band prior to Jefferson Airplane and then covered again by Jefferson Airplane interesting.
This is before they did We Built This City and became Starship, right?
God, long before they jumped that shark. Yeah.
Okay, good.
They still had Jefferson Starship to go through, which was my favorite iteration of the band. Jefferson Starship.
Interesting.
That was great.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, neither of those are Jefferson Airplane, and the song "Somebody to Love," sure, covered by Jim Carrey. I'm not playing that version, but I'm going to play this version done by 40 Foot Wave, which is a collection of musicians headed by Kristen Hirsch from the Throwing Muses. They included this one on a compilation called Souvenirs. I couldn't find confirmation of this, but I believe the vocalist in this song is Christina Amphlett from the Divinyls, the I Touch Myself song from Austin Powers, and Australian musician that we lost several years ago from cancer complications, Christina Amphlett. Really, really amazing vocalist with a great hoarse, scratchy, smoky voice. Anyway, the song is Somebody to Love, originally by Jefferson Airplane, performed here by 50 Foot Wave.
See you guys tomorrow, and some of you I'll see in an hour for Frog Pants Plays, so come back for that. We'll see you then. Bye.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Here's a Peter Piper playing the flute.